This chapter is more thrilling than ever and is titled Loki of the Underworld. Trust me friends, this chapter is packed with intense moments, deep insights into the world of giants and of course plenty of action. Luffy and his crew have finally arrived in Elbaf and we are seeing the legends about the land of the giants come to life. Because there are quite a few details Oda included that you might have missed. The chapter luckily starts right where the last one left off. Luffy is visibly excited and absolutely thrilled to have finally arrived in Elbaf, the legendary land of giants that we have heard about for what feels like 15 years. The landscape is gigantic and breathtaking, exactly as one would imagine. Luffy is almost overwhelmed by how huge everything is and by the majestic nature surrounding him. While Luffy is taking in the sights, Loki appears, the giant we have been hearing rumors about for quite some time now. Loki seems very proud of Elbaf and talks about his land size and strength. It doesn't take long before he directly addresses Luffy, introducing himself in his typical loud manner. Interestingly, Loki introduces himself as the Sun God, a title that has been passed down through generations in his land. This is a fascinating moment because it shows that the giants have their own legend and gods, similar to humans with stories of Joy Boy and ancient history. Loki might believe he is the ancient god and he might think his devil fruit has something to do with a god or perhaps another god from history. Many believe that Loki, like his mythological counterpart, can mimic others and perhaps previous owners of this fruit tried to imitate Joy Boy. Loki now thinks he is Joy Boy, which isn't the first time that this happened in the story. Even Kaido once wanted to be Joy Boy. So it's quite intriguing to see Loki presenting himself as the Sun God, a title usually associated with Luffy or Joy Boy's Nika. There will definitely be some confrontations and it will be interesting to see how Loki reacts when he finds out that Luffy is the real Nika. However, Loki is also wanted by the woke government with an astounding bounty of 2.6 billion berries, highlighting just how dangerous and influential he is. Luffy of course remains calm and isn't intimidated by Loki's title or high bounty, typical for our Straw Hat captain. Loki also explains to Luffy that Elbaf isn't just beautiful landscapes. There is a dangerous area called the Underworld where giants who break Elbaf's rules are banished. Giants who commit crimes are exiled there and no one dares to go near this place. The Underworld is guarded by beasts and monsters that attack anyone who dares to enter. Loki warns Luffy to stay away from this area because the creatures here are extremely dangerous. But knowing Luffy, he is hardly deterred and instead asks just how strong these creatures are. It doesn't take long before Luffy decides to head to the Underworld himself just to experience the dangers firsthand. As soon as Luffy approaches the Underworld, a group of Loki's followers and the powerful beasts guarding the area appear. These beasts are impressive: a giant polar bear, a gorilla, a wolf, and even a snake. Each creature is as large as a building and seems fascinating. But as we know, Luffy never backs down from a fight. He is not even scared and stands in front of the beasts with no hesitation. They can hardly believe that Luffy is so strong and defeats the beast with such ease. Loki watches this from a distance, realizing that Luffy is not to be underestimated. Luffy himself feels nostalgic, recalling past adventures and showing that he is here to uncover the secrets of Elbaf and challenge its strongest warriors. It's also nice to see Luffy have a flashback to his time skip. The excitement keeps building. If you have watched this far, please leave a like and subscribe to support me. It would mean a lot and it's hardly any effort. Support me in all of this. Thank you very much. While Luffy is defeating the beast, Shanks comes up in conversation. Finally, Loki mentions that Shanks was recently seen in Elbaf and might be pursuing an important goal there. This brings an excitement twist to the story as we know Luffy and Shanks have a special connection. Luffy can hardly wait to see his old friend and mentor again. But Loki gives him little information and remains mysterious. This only makes Luffy more curious and determined to finally see Shanks again. This moment is a perfect teaser for the upcoming chapters and heightens our anticipation for their reunion. We already got a small teaser on Wano Kuni that Shanks and Luffy would meet again soon, and the story continues. There are just a very few events in One Piece I look forward to as much as the moment when Shanks and Luffy finally meet in person and Shanks sees how strong Luffy has become and what an important role he plays. Meanwhile, we briefly see Nami, Robin and the others who are also exploring Elbaf and meeting old friends of the Straw Hats, Boogie and Woogie, the legendary warriors from the small island in the East Blue. They talk about old warriors and the philosophy of the giants, which revolves around pride and loyalty in battle. The giants of Elbaf seem to hold unwavering pride and a deep loyalty to their traditions, as we would expect. The Straw Hats are impressed and fascinated, and Nami quickly realizes how important it could be to gain the giants as allies. But back to the main events, things keep heating up as Luffy and Loki continue discussing Shanks. Loki refers to Shanks as a chicken. This doesn't sit well with Luffy, who immediately attacks Loki in Gear 4. It's interesting to see that he only attacks Loki in Gear 4 and hasn't yet revealed his Sun God form. I wonder what would happen if Loki saw this form and recognized it. Many know this form, even Vegapunk was familiar with it, and giants who are hundreds of years old might have some knowledge of it as well. I mean, if they know the title of Sun God, they should know Nika's form too, which would practically be a leak or spoiler if Loki saw it now. So far, Loki doesn't know who Luffy is, and Oda emphasizes this by choosing not to clarify it yet. It's also cool to see how Luffy tames all the beasts, earning their respect and recognition. Loki doesn't want to give Luffy much information about Shanks, only if Luffy releases him, but Luffy likely has no intention of doing so or hasn't answered yet. What Loki doesn't say aloud but only thinks is that Shanks will be the first he kills when he gets out. So the two have some kind of shared past, which is incredibly intriguing given that Shanks is also closely tied to Elbaf. We'll see what happens between the two, but for me this confirms that Shanks might even appear, as we have to witness the confrontation between the two. Oda wouldn't introduce a character only to never bring him back into the story again. We will see Shanks and Loki meet, probably in Elbaf, and now with the Straw Hats in Elbaf, there couldn't be a better time to make it happen. Loki quickly backs off, saying, "Hey, I was just kidding, wait," to avoid escalating the fight. At the end, we see Robin strangely getting a new haircut, or rather returning to her old hairstyle. I really want to know what Oda had in mind by bringing back this hairstyle. Perhaps it's because we are about to see Saura again, and the reunion with Robin would be even more impactful if she had the old hairstyle that Saura is familiar with. However, the question remains whether they will meet, as we only see him lying on the ground at the end, seemingly not moving. At least that's what the other giants are saying. I will be angry if Oda brings back this character only to kill him off before Robin sees him again. But I think they will meet again, because otherwise it wouldn't be built up like this just to let him die before Robin arrives. If you enjoyed the chapter as much as I did, feel free to leave a like, a subscription and a comment. That's all from me for now. Peace out.